Good evening. This is Dr. Nicole Mason coming to you to talk with you on this eighth day of 31 days of building confidence. Yes. We have covered a lot of ground over the last 7 days, going into our eighth day tonight. And I want to talk just for a few moments. I keep telling myself I'm only going to be on for a few moments each night. And so I want to talk just for a few moments tonight about establishing boundaries. Yes, establishing boundaries. And it is so important that we establish boundaries in our lives because those things are important for us to know and to understand. Now, the thing that I want to say about confidence, let's start out with what I define as confidence, and that is advocating for yourself, speaking up for yourself, really understanding that you have value, you have worth, and knowing what your standards are in life. And that is important. And this whole series came about, because I know and I understand that this pandemic really has caused so many of us to reflect on what's most important to us, who is most important to us, and how we should be proceeding forward. And what I do know is that confidence is the key to success in every area of our lives. Period, point blank, exclamation point. That's my thought about it, that confidence is the key to our success. And I really want you to understand that so that you know that whatever you decide to do, you are really going to have to be confident to do it. It's just that simple. And so I really want to take some time tonight to talk about establishing boundaries. And it's really important to know that we all need boundaries. And boundaries are necessary for a variety of different reasons. And we're going to go into a few of them tonight. But I thought as I was praying about our time together tonight, I felt really deeply in my heart that I needed to encourage you to be okay with having boundaries in your life, because what happens is just like a building that needs to be built, you have to set a perimeter. And once you set that perimeter, the perimeter is there for a variety of different reasons. And the thing that I've come to know about boundaries is just like, when you build that building and you still have a little bit of land on the outside of the building, of course, there are boundary lines, right? And so many times, people have gone to court to fight legal battles about boundaries because boundaries are important. And, land is broken up based on boundaries. If you live in a home, you have a lot in the square for your home that establishes the boundaries around your home. And of course, that is important. Whenever there is some land to be sold, a house to be built, they always check the boundaries. They always check for, the what do you call it? I forget the legal name of it. It escapes me right off the top of my head, but they do a survey. That's what it's called, survey, a land survey. And the survey is to determine where the boundary lines start and stop. And this way, each party that owns this land over here on the side of the boundary line, that land over there on the boundary line, everybody knows where their property starts and stops. And so really, you need to understand that you are valuable, you have worth, and you have to have boundaries as well. And so tonight, let's talk about what boundaries are and why they are important. Talking about confidence, because when you understand that you are valuable, that you have worth, then there are some lines that you will not allow people to cross, period. And I'll give you an example. I was in negotiations with a company for a particular service that I wanted to do. And the gentleman called me because I missed an appointment. And it was my fault. Yes, I missed the appointment, but he wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise on why I missed the appointment. And the way that he was talking to me, the tone that he was talking to me, I was like, no, 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 click. Nope, click. And I followed up with an email to him to say that was totally unacceptable. And it's not anything that I would accept. Yes, I apologize for missing the appointment. But you wouldn't give me a word in edgewise to explain to you why I had to miss the appointment. And, just based on your, the exchange that we had today, and really in my mind, the way he handled me. And this is the whole point about boundaries. You have to determine how you allow people to handle you or not, right? And so the way that he handled me, I'm like, I'm so thankful that God allowed this to happen. And let me tell you something. God does all things well. He will allow us to see who people are long before any explosion takes place, before, we get headlong into situations and relationships. No, there are always signs. That's the way that I feel about it. There are always signs. And so I told him, based on this exchange, I will not be moving forward with your company. Absolutely not. Because I don't tolerate that kind of talking to me from anybody. Anybody. I don't care who you are. Anybody. And so you have to establish boundaries and standards in your life. And, everything we need is on the inside of us. You will start to get that feeling like, that's not how the person should be treating me or talking to me. And you need to act on those things and speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself. And so the first thing about boundaries keep us safe. Boundaries keep us safe. And safety is relative, it applies to so many different things. It's just not safe in your home, but safe from the way that people treat you. Yeah, because that situation that I just described, I could have entered into a business relationship and that could have gone south in a lot of different ways, probably leading up to some kind of legal battle based on the way that he responded to me and the way that he was interacting with me, not even giving me the opportunity to apologize and to explain, about the matter, just going on and on and on. Nope, click, because I don't have to tolerate that. Absolutely not. And so I did not and will not and would not and all of the other nots. No, you can't talk to me that way and think that it's okay. No. And I started praying for his children. He has 2 daughters, I think. And, I'm like, if you talk to me that way, God help them, right? People respond in one area of their lives the way they do in other areas of their lives. Yes? And so you have to establish boundaries and standards and know what you will and will not accept, period. Boundaries keep you safe. And then boundaries also put other people on notice of what you will and will not accept, what you will and will not tolerate, etc. And this situation is a perfect example of that. He lost a potential client because he was over the top with trying to get me told about missing an appointment, not really understanding why I had to miss the appointment, nor did he want to even give me the time and space to share with him why I missed it, because he was so focused on his own thoughts and his own feelings and his own behavior. So guess what? You can take all of your services and you can do whatever you will with them, right? And so boundaries put other people on notice about you. All right. And then the last thing, boundaries causes others to pause when interacting with you. And, when I say it causes them pause, that means to me that they will think about how they are dealing with you, and that comes from how you present yourself in a confident manner, how you speak up for yourself, how don't tolerate people mistreating you, talking to you any kind of way. No, that's not going down that way. I had one of my good friends, she said she was taking a page out of my book and pushing back on some things that were going on in her own life. Yeah, because you have to teach people how to treat you. And that comes from confidently standing up for yourself. That comes from knowing that you have value, you have worth, and you don't have to take anybody mistreating you, mishandling you, and then keep them in your life afterwards. Absolutely not. No. And this juncture in our lives, all of us need to be looking for and interacting with and having relationships with people who add value to us, not people who subtract from us. See, when you have a situation like the one that I described, that was subtracting from me. It was subtracting from me because my energy level went to another place. It was subtracting from me because I had all of these negative thoughts going on in my mind about what I wanted to say. And thank God that I have discipline. But that to me was taking me into a negative space, which means that it was taking away from me. It was not adding value to me. It was actually taking something from me, taking away, trying to eat away at my esteem, my confidence. No one talks to me that way. And, when you understand that and you have a thought in your mind, when people start to go there, whether they're personal friends, family, a business that you may be entering into, you have to take note of that. No, you cannot talk to me that way. No. Click. Nope. Click. All right. And so boundaries keep you safe. Boundaries puts others on the outside, puts them on notice about how to interact with you. And then lastly, boundaries causes others to pause when interacting with you. Now, I'm certain that if indeed it ever came back around, that I would even give an opportunity for the gentleman to talk with me, he would be very cautious about the way that he would handle me the next time around. If that were ever the case, I doubt it, but if that were ever the case, he would be very thoughtful about how he would handle me. And I would say that this happens a lot of times in work relationships, in families, when there is some kind of altercation. You have to speak up for yourself. And my mom used to always say to me, Nicole, there is a way to say everything. So we don't have to cuss people out and go off on them and that kind of thing. There is a way to confidently and assertively say what you want to say, mean what you say, don't back down, look the folk right dead in their eyes, don't bat an eye, and say what you have to say about whatever the matter is. And you don't have to raise your voice, but you do have to speak assertively, and you don't have to be aggressive about it. But you do have to let folk know that when it comes to you, that you're not messing around. When it comes to how people are treating you, how they're handling you, you have to be the one to look out for yourself. And so that means that you have to learn how to establish boundaries. This is also very important with, sister friend relationships as well. If you have sister friends who are not adding value, you can never depend on them. They're always asking you for something, always leaning on you, always calling you and trying to suck the life out of you as it relates to what you're thinking, your wisdom, all of that, but never pouring back in when you need somebody to talk to, you need somebody to talk with. That's not the person you want in your circle, and you definitely don't want to be in theirs. So, X. All right. And so, tonight I just wanted to talk about establishing boundaries. And I really, really hope that this has been a blessing to you. I want to try to keep my time on, 15 to 20 minutes. So put in the comments and let me know if this is something that has been of value to you. Establishing boundaries. Number one, they keep you safe. Two, they put people on notice on how to interact with you. And three, it causes other people to pause when interacting with you. It's almost akin to, I used to say this a lot, when someone knows who you are, when you treat yourself well, they have to really be thoughtful about how they are going to gift something to you, or how they're going to be a blessing to you. And they take their cues from you. And so if you treat yourself well, and I used to use this as an example, as an example, if you treat yourself well and people know it, for example, if you shop at Macy's, I'll just use that as an example. People who know you and want to be a blessing to you and watch how you treat yourself, they would not just run up into a Kmart, which is of course out of business now, but this is the way I used to say it. They would not run up into a Kmart or a Target to get you something if they know that you treat yourself at another kind of level. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the money that's paid for the gift. The focus that I'm talking about is how people think about what to gift you with. And remember, I told you in one of the first nights that thinking is a vibration, and it causes things to either come to you or be repelled away from you. Either way, you make the choice, right? And so I want you to think about establishing boundaries. And, establishing boundaries means that you watch how people treat you. And when they don't treat you well, you have permission to X them out of your life. Period, point blank, exclamation point. All right. Talking about building confidence. And it's so very important that you know what your boundaries are and you know what your standards are. And if people are in your life and they're not meeting that standard, they're not the ones for you. All right. So invite somebody on tomorrow. Hey, daughter. It's my daughter from Suriname. We met in Europe in 2015. We're still in contact with one another. I'm so proud of her. And so it is important for you to establish boundaries and really understand that you have permission to either teach people how to treat you, and they follow suit, or, you walk away from that relationship. All relationships in your life should be adding value, and they should not be sucking the very life out of you. Now, let me say this. There are times in our lives where people need us. And I'm not talking about those kinds of relationships when, people are down and people are going through. And at that time, they're not able to pour back into our lives. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those people, and you know who they are because we all have had them in our lives, and some people still have them. But I'm talking about people who are always just subtracting from your life, and you know who they are, and you know who they have been. And when they have been removed out of your life for one reason or another, sometimes relationships just kind of, fade. And then others, people just walk away when you start to change and build yourself up. And your weakness is no longer convenient for them. Yeah, let me say that again. Your weakness is no longer convenient for them. So they go on and they find the next person that, they can do whatever they have been doing. Because there are some people that prey, P-R-E-Y, prey on other people. And this is why your confidence level has to be such that when those people with those kinds of spirit energies come around you, they know that can't do that to that person, right? So that's what we're after. We're after that kind of spirit energy where people will think twice about how they treat you, how they handle you, because they know that they cannot get away with that. And if they have in the past, let me tell you, you're becoming a new creature, a new creation. So keep coming on 9 p.m. Every night for this month. And something you're going to hear, if you have not already heard it, but something you're going to hear is going to prick something in your heart that I deserve better. And that's what I'm after. That piece of you, that part of you, where you stand up and boldly declare, I deserve better. I know I deserve better. And then you go after the better in your life by surrounding yourself with people who will honor you. They will honor you because you honor yourself. They will value you because you value yourself. All right? So share a video out. Certainly, if you want to stay connected, you can text Show Up Great, all caps, to 22828 and join my mailing list. I would love to have you. And so we can keep in touch. Yeah, because there's some great things that are happening. And yes, absolutely, Sister Jerice. Yes, that's what we are after. I deserve better. I deserve better. And it's not just about what you say. It is about how you show up. Because there are a lot of times that people are saying things out of their mouths, but there is that disconnect that we talked about last night. There is a disconnect between their head and their heart, and everything has to be congruent. And so when you say it out of your mouth, it has to come from your thought process, line up with what's in your heart, and then come out of your mouth with the energy behind it, is where the confidence comes in. Because there are a lot of people who say a lot of things, but their their words are really empty when the energy behind it does not support it. And so when you speak, you want the energy behind what you're saying and what you're thinking to all be lined up. And so that's what we want to do. That's exactly what we want to do. And that's what I'm after. All right. So join us tomorrow, 9 p.m. And happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. We'll be on just for a few moments tomorrow evening, just honoring our commitment to come on for a few moments each night this month. So have a great Mother's Day. Honor those people in your life who gave you birth. My mom is no longer here in the earth, but I thank God for who she was, all that she poured into me. I am the phenomenal woman that I am today because of her. My mom did not play when it came to me. My mom did not play. She taught me early on to speak up for myself. Don't take no mess from anybody. That's who she was. And, that's the kind of spirit energy that she poured into my heart. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. And so that's what I'm doing. I am pouring out of my own bounty of what I received from my own mom to those who want to share with me and partake in this month. But I would certainly love for us to stay connected so that we can share even after this month, because I have so many things that are coming up and I would love to share those with you. All right. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. God bless you. Share out the video, invite other people to join us, and I'll see you tomorrow night. God bless you.